Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So here we have another question from the same passage. Passage pertains to tradition, sets of political structure and the social order. Well, before we jump to the question, let's look at the direction for question. Answer the following question based on the information given. So as far as we understood, the passage talks about how tradition shapes political structure and the social order, and abiding to it make sure the stability and unchangeable consistency of the political system. But at the same time, we also find out the conservative concepts of tradition finds its fullest and most influential philosophical expression in the work of Anglo-Irish statesmen and philosopher Edmund Burke's views on this, isn't it? So that's what all about the text of the passage. Let's go to the question. So the question asks which of the following can be inferred about a relationship between conservatism and tradition? Isn't it a relationship between conservatism and tradition? So what probably we draw from the conservative and tradition? Look at the options one. Look at the options and we'll try to identify which of the option will be most appropriate to draw the inference about the relationship between conservatism and tradition. So the first option stated here, conservatism inherently aligns with the tradition as conservatism depends on the preservation of traditional values and rules to maintain societal stability and cohesion. Second, conservatism, the second option, conservatism does not have a monopoly on tradition, as tradition is a dynamic force that can align with the progressive ideals and social justice. Option three, conservatism stifling societal progress and continuing social inequalities through its rigid adherence to outdated norms. Option 4, which is stated about tradition, is portrayed as a stagnant force that hindering societal progress while conservatism promote innovation and societal change. Okay, now if you look into that, the inference stated about the relationship between conservatism and tradition. So that is what we need to draw. Uh, on the basis of that conservatism and traditions relationship. So the passage discusses what? The passage discusses the relationship between what? Conservatism and tradition. Uh, so let's evaluate each option based on what can be inferred from the passage. So the first option, which we discussed, uh, indicates accurately reflects the portrayal of what? Portrayal of conservatism and tradition in the passage. So the passage emphasizes that conservatism aligns with the preservation. Conservatism, conservatism aligns with what? Aligns with, you can say that the preservation of traditional values and norms, which are seen as essential for social stability, right? So this option is, you can say that consistent with the passage and correctly reflects the inferred, right? Inferred relationship between conservatism and tradition, right or not? So that can be called as inference. The first one. Look at the second one. If I find out any of the option which is better than this. So second one stated conservatism doesn't have a monopoly, right? Conservatism doesn't have a monopoly as tradition as doesn't have a monopoly on tradition as tradition is a dynamic force, right? That can align with the progressive ideals and social justice, isn't it? So while this option presents an alternative viewpoints, what is that? Alternative viewpoints, isn't it? So um, how and because it contradicts the portrayal of conservatism and tradition in the passage. The passage emphasizes their intrinsic connection, suggesting that conservatism indeed aligns closely with the preservation of traditional values. So this option is not uh, consistent with the passage consistent with the passage portrayal of conservatism and tradition. Um, so in that case, you can say option two cannot be the answer option. So option three, or this cannot draw. Mm. Three, conservatism stifling societal progress and perpetuating social inequality through its rigid adherence to outdated norms. So if I talk about this one, option three, conservatism stifles societal progress and continues social inequalities through its rigid adherence. Here you would find out this option misrepresents, right, the relationship between conservatism and tradition as portrayed in the passage. The passage does not explicitly discuss conservatism as stifling societal progress or continuing social inequities in such absolute terms. So the correctness would be what? This option is also not supported by the passage. Mm, as a portrayal of conservatism and tradition. Hence, this would be called as a incorrect. Now, if you look at the fourth one, tradition is portrayed as a stagnant force hindered societal progress, while conservatism promotes innovation and societal change. This option is also inconsistent with the passage. The passage does not portray tradition as inherently stagnant, or you can say that you can say hindering progress. Instead, it presents tradition as a what? Uh, Tradition as a dynamic force that can accommodate certain kinds of conservative change. So this option misinterprets the portrayal of tradition and conservatism in the passage. Mm, So the conclusion would be what? Based on the analysis, we understood that option one is the correct answer. It accurately reflects the portrayal of conservatism and tradition in the passage, emphasizing the alignment between conservatism and the preservation of traditional values and norms for societal stability. Therefore, option one, right, is the best inference that can be drawn from the given options based on the passage. Hope you understood this. That's all. Thank you.